Do you need a gaming table? This is the one that I built, and it is an easy and inexpensive way to get a great-looking gaming table for your gaming room because it's a modification of an existing table. It's not even all that difficult a project. So let's jump in and I will show you how I made it. I'm Heath.
And I'm Megan. And I think that we need a new gaming table.
I definitely think we need a better place to play board games rather than just this table.
Since we're making everything else fancy, we might as well make a fancy table.
But I've got an easier way to do this than trying to build a whole table. I think what we can do is we can modify this table right here. This is an old table that I've got anyway. I think we can modify it for board games. So I think we can build a frame around it that'll provide player space and then also have the recessed area to keep the board game components in and roll dice in.
Yeah.
So we've got this separated, this tabletop actually right here, so that we can take this down to the workshop and then we can just build around it on the floor.
And then just bring it right back up.
All right. Well, I'm going to get on that.
Have fun!
I didn't start with any kind of plan when I started to build this table. I just built it around the tabletop that I have. The existing tabletop is shown here in gray. It was about 33.5 inches wide by 58.5 inches long. So that's the interior dimensions of the frame I'm about to build. The exterior dimensions of the frame is about 51 inches by 76 inches, and that means there's a little bit less than 9 inches of rail going all the way around the table. From the side view, you can again see the table is 76 inches long, and that dashed line there is the tabletop. The frame itself is about 5 inches thick. That gives me 2.5 inches of recessed area for the play space, and also means that the frame itself hangs over the tabletop by another 2.5 inches. That way it locks onto the table really well. Let's get building. I built the frame of the table rail out of 2x4 lumber. The 2x4s give the table very solid bones to build on. I didn't even use a table saw for this build. A circular saw was my main cutting tool. The 2x4s are going to be covered by nicer looking planks, but I went ahead and used some sandpaper to make the edges of the boards a bit nicer so they fit together. Here I'm cutting out a lot of spacers for the frame. There is an interior and exterior ring of 2x4s, and they all go together with these spacers. I use screws to assemble the whole frame. Okay, now we get some. I wanted to be sure that I didn't split any of the 2x4s, and so I pre-drilled all of the holes first, and then drilled in the screws.
What'd you do?
That's why we're using screws here. I used this nicer wood to clad the whole frame. I used plenty of wood glue and nails to attach the board to the 2x4 frame. There were inevitably gaps in the frame, so I used sandable wood putty to fill in all of the gaps. I went over the whole table frame with an orbital sander to make it nice and smooth. You can really go crazy here and use increasingly fine grades of sandpaper if you want to. This gave me a wonderful surface. Then I stained the whole thing with a mahogany stain, and then later also coated it with 2 layers of polyurethane. The final step was to install the lighting. These are just the LED light strips that you can get at the hardware store to go under kitchen cabinets. They go together easily and are very simple to put together.
Well, that appears to work.
You can see that I'm installing them under the lip that's part of the structure that holds the frame on the tabletop.
It does light up.
Boom! Here we go. So,
We've got
project
it.
done. The table is done. What do you think?
I love it. I think it looks great. I can reach everything because I'm short, and that matters to me.
I love how it came out.
It
I think
looks
that it looks
awesome.
great. This is just a black mat that we got. We put down, it's nice and squishy. We just put it down before we put the frame down.
Make those dice bounce.
Right, make the dice bounce a little bit better, give us a little bit better play surface. So I love the way this came out. And check this out. Boom. There we go.
It's even lighted.
It's even better with the lights on. So I think this is going to be a fantastic table. We're going to have a lot of fun.
I can't
on
wait
this.
to play on it.
Right. And there are ways that we could expand on this project and make the table even better. And I was thinking about that as I was doing it. You know, we just made a frame to put on an existing table. That was fast. That was easy. Well, you know, it wouldn't be that much harder to put legs on it. I designed it so that legs can be installed under here if we want to do that later. Also, you'll notice I've got this lip right here, so that later if we want to make something to set on top, right? That way, you know, it could be turned into a table, you know, or, you know, protect, or be used as a table while there's still a board game set up or something like that. You see that a lot. So yeah, so we can do that too. But I figured that would be scope creep.
Yeah.
The project was just to get the table ready for gaming. So if we want to come back and want to do other projects like that, we can do that.
We can do it.
So, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed the build. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you like the video. If you have questions or comments, like below, put them down below. And also, if you want to follow us, Megan.
I'm at Megan Pecco. It's P-E-C-O-T on Instagram and Twitter.
Check her out there. I'm at E. Heath Robinson on Instagram and Twitter as well. I like to put out different things on Twitter as we're building, and also on Instagram as we're building as well, so you get little previews of what we're doing in advance of the YouTube video.
Check it out.
Thank you so much.
Thank
See you
you.
in another YouTube video.